Hi everyone, it's the weekly Noyantis user group. Today is 17th of July 2017, and it's myself and John are here as hosts. Got a few attendees here already, so that's good. As always, any questions, ideas, problems, type them in the question box, raise your hand, and we'll cover the content accordingly. We've already got an hand up. That's David. Where are we going? Hi, David. How are we doing?
Hiya, I'm good, thank you. Very, very good. So, I've got a few questions for you, Andy.
That's okay. I had noticed I've been very quiet on the Skype group for the last few days. It's just been tremendously busy, and I was monitoring it on the phone, but it's not always easiest to keep responding on the phone and so on and so forth. Plus, it seemed very intense on XAML content and so on, so I thought I'd leave you guys to it, to be honest.
Well, it's still mainly XAML content I've got a problem with. But no, I've sorted out a lot of XAML content, but I've got a couple of things with how the report control displays really that's causing me an issue. That's my biggest problem, I would say. I'm trying to understand how it displays individual rows as you're going along. I've got it turned off the template so that it displays the rows sort of on demand, if you like, by using report control.populate. And I can get it to do that right at the very end when I've got all my content, but I don't seem to be able to do it on a row by row basis, which I thought I would do. And because what I'm doing is actually handling images, and it takes a bit of time for the images to be copied across and displayed, and that I wanted to be able to give some sort of visual feedback to the user that something was happening.
Okay.
And so I was wanting to sort of, as each row of images was available, I was wanting to at least populate something on the screen so that they can see that something was starting to come back rather than waiting 15, 20 seconds to get a complete display of 400 images or something like that.
Okay. So you say a row of images. How are you accomplishing that then?
Well, what I did was I worked out how many images I can fit across the screen in thumbnail size. It's about a 300 by 225 JPEG I'm using as a thumbnail.
Okay.
And I work out how many columns I can fit, and I dynamically create a number of columns, and then I'm going through searching the images, and as I find each image, I'm slotting it into column 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then when I fill the full row of that, I'm populating that row onto the report control and issuing a populate, and I expected that to give me a display. But what I'm finding is I get all the way to 396 images before I actually get the screen redrawing.
Okay. Well, I suppose we could. Yeah, I mean, from what you said, there's nothing wrong with that. Should we switch to your code to
I actually used Ultimate Debug to keep tracking it. I can see it issuing the report control.populate as I'm filling up the various rows, but the screen itself doesn't display. Could it be down to the fact that I'm in a quite tight loop of running around, and so the screen's just not displaying itself? Because of that, you can actually see the scroll bar of the report control moving, so you can see that the actual report control itself is actually filling up.
It's getting content.
But there's nothing actually appearing on the screen.
Can we switch to yours to take a look?
Yeah, just give me a second. Let me just pull something across onto my screen so that you'll be able to see. I've got two monitors running here.
Are you back in the UK now, or are you still?
I'm in the UK for 3 weeks, and then I'm back out to Cyprus again on slow internet again. But I've got no kids. I've got no kids, so I've got no background noise for you today.
No problem.
Yes, you switch across, and I'll actually run it, and you actually see it happening, and I'll show you the bit of code where I'm doing it, and you can tell me where I'm going wrong.
No problem. There you go. So. you should get an option to say share my screen.
Yeah, that's what it appeared on the other monitor. Which screen are you going to get?
Okay, we've got browsers. Go to
You've got
webinar.
a browser. Okay, you're getting the wrong screen then. Okay, you need this across on that screen then. Now you've got some pictures.
Right. Okay.
Yes. Okay. This is what it's going to look like at the end. I put this up first, so you can see this is what the end result's going to be.
Okay.
So let me just move the little go to webinar thing down a little tiny bit out of the way, and close that screen there. And I run this one here. This is it running here. So now at the moment, it's busy going away.
We can
And
see
if you watch across
right.
on the right-hand side of the screen, you can see it actually moving the scroll bar going up there. It's actually searching the images, copying the images across it to temporary files, and it should be displaying a row at a time. And that's why you're seeing the scroll bar move, because it's filling a row at a time each time, but nothing's appearing on the screen. And all of a sudden, right at the very end, you'll get 396 images all appearing. Another few seconds yet. And this was the reading there, you see.
Yep.
It took a total of 33 seconds to get 396 images.
Okay. So on the settings, have you got it?
Wait a minute, let me pull across my Clarion. That's probably the easiest thing. Just resize that. That was this one here.
Okay. Well, first of all, at the global, what have we got for the report control defaults regarding adding the rows?
Okay. So you want where do you want to be? Defaults. Yes. Okay. I've changed that to yes after row change. It was originally no. I think I changed that back again in an attempt to try and get it to redisplay. Originally, I had that no. I would refresh manually.
Right. Which is fine. You can do that. Yeah. Okay, well, without changing this, so we've got the yes on that, so that's good.
Okay.
Okay, let's have a look on your, where you're adding your first row, or you're adding your row, I should say.
Okay, let me get, so if we go down here, this is just what's doing it here. So this is just the control here. It's creating an empty report control, working out how many columns to display, then it's actually loading the stuff from a queue.
Yep.
And right at the very end, it's doing that populate there, and that's the one that's actually making it display at the very end, because there's where you're seeing the little timer that came up at the end.
That's right, yeah.
Okay. But we go down here. This is what's actually adding each individual row here. So I'm actually...
okay. So on
I'm actually creating a single row here at that line there, an empty row, and then I'm using set row cell value just to put, actually all I'm putting there in is the number 1, 2, 3, 4 of the column as it goes across, and then I'm using the caption because it's got XAML in it.
Yep.
So the caption is what's displaying, but I'm also setting the tooltip because I want the tooltip to display in XAML as well. So really, it's where are we? It's that there that's actually putting the XAML content into the report control.
Well, on
as you see, after every 4 little blocks, those image blocks going across the screen, it's doing another report control populate. And I actually see it appearing here in Ultimate Debug that it's actually called that populate.
Right.
Every 4th image, it's calling that populate, but we're not getting anything displayed on the screen.
Okay. Cool. A couple of things we can try then is you've got the populate. Also do redraw. I'm not sure you actually need this for the report control, but let's just try it anyway. So after the populate, put a redraw on there as well. So report control 2.redraw.
Yeah, like that?
Yep.
Oh, yes, there we go. Okay.
Okay. let's just try that. Oh, you need a, sorry,
Get rid
parentheses.
of that one out of the way. Yep, parentheses, yes. Okay. All right. So we'll just get rid of that. And run that. And then it's that one. You can see I've been going through a few. Oh, yes. No, that's so much better, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Problem solved instantly. Thank you.
Oh, no, that's the whole idea of the webinar. So, we're done now. That was a short one today. We'll finish. So, well,
I mean, round and round in circles for that one, Andy.
It does.
So, yes.
The question of why, and I think it might be. I don't know if it's to do with it. I can't necessarily blame XAML and so on and so forth, but it was adding the row. The age-old thing, which we demonstrated in previous webinars, is where you tell it to add multiple rows, but of course you don't want it to. Oh wow, are they tooltips?
Yes. That's my next question coming in a second.
Okay.
I'll let you finish what you're talking about.
But yes, basically, you can get it to add all the rows without physically adding them at the visually, so you see them, but it means that they can be manipulated and so on and so forth, set the content, so on, and then you do one populate at the end. With you using XAML on this, I'm just wondering whether that was, to be honest, muddy in the water, so to speak, to cause an issue. Yes. Because you could see the scroll bar growing smaller and so on and so forth. So rows were physically being added. It was just the content weren't being displayed. So the redraw is basically a bit like a display command in Clarion, if you will, but to the code job control itself.
No, that's brilliant. That's fantastic. That makes this a much more responsive script. Well, as you saw, instantly we had images displaying, and so for a user watching it, then they've got instant feedback. That's exactly what I was wanting. Exactly.
Cool. Perfect. Very good.
Okay, now you mentioned about tooltips. Now, this has only got one tooltip. It only actually matches that particular image there. The other one, it's just got the same because I haven't got the image updating yet for the others, but it would actually display whichever image I'm over.
Right.
Is there any sort of maximum size of this? Because I can't get it to go any bigger than that particular size there.
Oh, wow.
I tried several things. I looked at a few things that David done on the example that's in the report control, and I tried using line breaks to make these file name original file size containing folder, and that sort of move down the page, and I'd actually get it so that there's more and they disappear off the bottom. I can't find any way of making the size of that tooltip any larger than that one that I've got there.
Right. So if you did have the say you put some extra line breaks in after file name.
But I also had just these as larger fonts so that it took up more space.
Right.
And the tags at the bottom all disappeared off the bottom.
Right, I've got you.
It didn't sort of resize up to take all the content that was in there.
Well, there
must be some sort of size somewhere. To be honest with you, it's not a big issue. If it's not something you know off the top of your head, really.
It would be more of a code job question directly. There's nothing in the class to restrict
to handle it
and so on. It would literally, you set the content and it displays accordingly. So that would be down to the physical code job limitations. I'd probably pose that question onto their forum and ask, maybe with an image like so to say we're coming out so big, but if we change the content, the size isn't growing. It's remaining to a maximum.
No, I can easily demonstrate that. That's very easy for me to demonstrate. But quite honestly, I ended up with this layout that I've got now, and that gives me all that I really want to put on there anyhow. So for this particular application, it's going to be good enough for what I want like this. So I don't need an answer today on this. It's something I can pursue separately with Code Jockling.
Okie dokie. So very nice cars there. Yes. Any more on the report control? Any other questions on that? Or any other questions?
I had one other question. It was about the webinars being uploaded.
Yes.
There was a webinar that you did with John where you were intercepting a link that he had for a PDF, if I remember correctly, that wasn't working right. He was wanting to do something, and you intercepted a hyperlink for him inside the web control.
Inside the web control. I vaguely remember. Quite a while.
I think it was his email client that he's got.
Right.
And
I remember that. It was a while ago.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. So you think it's a webinar that's already uploaded, John?
Yeah, it should be up there.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Okay, I'll have a look through them. I want to do something very similar to that, and rather than get you to go all the way through chasing it through it again, I just want to do. Whoops. Sorry, my screen's just disappeared there. Okay. I wanted to just go through that webinar and see how you handled it for John, and I'm sure the same sort of thing would work for me.
Are you going to do that via the web? The built-in
the built-in web. Really, what it is, I've got some things that I've got that are working in CapeSoft's File Explorer, but I want to try them in the Noyantis web control, and I want to be able to intercept some hyperlinks or click some hyperlinks. And I thought what you did with John might help me understand how I can do that in the Noyantis control.
Well, let's take a quick look here. Well, we're still waiting for other questions to come in. So, perfectly valid question. I'll copy the example in.
Well, if I tell you exactly what I'm trying to do, what I do in the CapeSoft control, and you can tell me how I could duplicate the same thing. In the CapeSoft control, it reads all the DOM elements, so I can get all the individual controls, the links, the buttons, and things like that. And it has two methods: click by name and click by ID. So I can effectively send a clarion command that makes it click something in the web browser. And I was thinking that what you'd done with John was sort of a similar sort of concept. Maybe I'd use something along the same lines to do a similar sort of thing in the Noyantis web browser. I really want to be able to click something in the browser.
But do it in your own code rather than the user clicking.
Yes, I want effectively to send a clarion command that clicks something inside the browser.
Right. We'll have to have a. I don't think we did that for John's.
Well, I don't know. I just remembered you doing this thing about hyperlinks, and you were able to detect when the user had clicked on something. There's two parts that I use in the CapeSoft one. I actually use this click by name and click by ID to click a button in the browser.
Right.
But I can also there's something else in File Explorer. I can't remember exactly how I do it just at this moment. But there's a way to detect when the user's clicked something inside the browser as well. And that's what I was trying to get to, because I wanted to design some HTML stuff and know in Clarion when they've clicked on certain things inside the browser control.
Right. The one question I think I've got there then is, if you are okay, so they click on, let's say you've got 4 hyperlinks and they click on the second one, you're going to action some particular code.
Yes.
Well, if you need to emulate that click on that second hyperlink, why can't you just call that code yourself instead of having to go via the hyperlink code, execution code?
What do you mean call that code?
Well, let's say on clicking hyperlink 2, you do a routine which is hyperlink 2 clicked. Then why, in the scenario where you would need to emulate that click via code, can't you just call the routine instead? That type of thing. I'm just wondering why it still needs to go
because it depends on what they're doing inside the browser.
Right.
Because the browser displays certain things, certain HTML and stuff like that, and depending on what they've clicked in there, depends on what I need to do in Clarion.
Got you. Okay. Right. Then I'm just looking at the control itself. You've got before navigate and before it's called. Where where is it? The event. Can't see if we're looking. I think it's called Before Navigate 2, and that will trigger and tell you basically some data. I'm having a quick look here now. You can cancel it. I think that's one of the things we need to do with John. But as for emulating one of the clicks, I'm not sure, I'll be honest with you.
Okay. Well, I think the best thing for the moment, really, Andy, rather than you wasting time looking into it for me, is let me find this webinar that you did with John, and I'll review that. And then once I've seen that, I'll know whether it's the sort of thing that I'm after or not.
Yeah, I think
rather than wasting any further time on it.
I think from memory, on John's, we wanted to activate that, know that they've clicked it, but not actually go off and try and action it. We just wanted to detect the click and then go and act accordingly, which is what you just said with your code. That's brilliant. So you could put a link in there. You in the Before Navigate 2 event, you can then the last parameter is cancel, so you set it to true, and that would block it from actually executing. But you still detected the fact that it's been pressed. So that would work for that scenario for you. I'm quite confident of that. It's the first bit of
me
emulating the click.
Clicking a button or something. Yeah.
I'm not saying it doesn't do it. It's just off the top of my head. It's not something I've been asked for in the past.
Okay.
You can get to the document object. I'm just wondering if there's anything inside of that which would help. I'm just taking a quick look here. See, the web browser, it's by their own admission, it's very dated. It's brilliant for static content. I use it myself for things like that and so on. But it is getting it's a little dated now. The actual core engine of it, I think, is still IE6. So
yeah, it'll be basically. I'm sure the core engine will probably be the same as the File Explorer core engine, which is sort of quite part of the IE OCX, whatever part it is. Yeah. I would love for someone to get the Chrome engine inside here.
I've looked at various different things in the past, but I think they dropped the support for it quite a long time ago. It used to.
Yeah.
A long time ago it used to. Location URL. Yeah. I'm not seeing anything, I'll be honest with you here. Okay. Drop target, scroll bar, silent. No, not particularly. Plenty of events, and so on, but none to actually emulate. The best I could think of there is you can get to the raw document object. So if you could manipulate it via the document object, that could be a way. That could be a way around it.
Okay. Well, like I say, what I'll do, I'll review the webinar that you did with John, and that'll give me some thoughts on how I can approach it, and then maybe I can come back to you at a later date on it.
Yeah. By all means, it's a future subject, not a future topic, so to speak. Of course, no problem. Yeah. Sorry about that, but no, I can't think of anything. I think looking at the actual properties, objects, events, and so on from the web browser, I think the document object would probably be your best bet. So the text would be along the lines of document dot and then whatever it is under that. But there's no documentation there, so it would have to be probably have a look on the just on the web for the documentation for the document object to see what you can manipulate of that.
Okay.
Oh.
When you're talking about that, are you really talking about it as though I'm manipulating it in JavaScript?
Let me bring my screen back in. Okay. Yeah. So we're on the. I'll just make sure Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So got the web browser, and there's the event that I was mentioning, the Before Navigate 2. So we can listen for that event, and it will tell you bits of information regarding what's just been clicked.
Yes.
And the last parameter is cancel. Oh.
Okay.
Anyway,
you.
so
Yes,
basically,
yes.
you could set that parameter to true, and that would actually block the execution of the URL, which is good. That's what you're after. So that would give you what you're after from a detection point of view. But as I say, as I'm looking at all the other particular properties, the only one that really springs to mind there is the actual raw document object.
Right.
So, and then you'd have to have a look within that as, can you get to, you say the actual content, so on, and read. That should allow you to get to the actual raw content, the document content. But what you want to do with that, I'm not sure where that help would be.
Okay. And that actually states there under member usage read only.
Yes, yeah. Most objects are, to be fair. And then the properties under that might not be read only. They can be manipulated. So I wouldn't read too much.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
That's just basically giving you a way of getting to the thing. So yeah, I wouldn't read too much into that. That's quite common.
Okay. All right. I see.
A bit like so we see there. Bad example. Let's just choose one of the others. I think there's a tree control in here or something. Date time picker, there you go. So on a date time picker, you could go to, and I'm just looking for something which is an actual object, and that would come up read only. But then the properties and so on and so forth of that that object, they would go off into all their own collections. So you would have different events, different.
So you probably find getters and setters for each of them.
Yes, yeah, chances are.
I understand. Yes, I understand.
Suite control is probably a really bad one to show you on out of the lot.
Oh, that's fine. I understand what you're after there. What you're getting to there, Andy.
Yep.
That'll help me a lot.
No problem. Okay. Any other questions?
Let me just have a look at my little list here and see if I had anything else. It's disappearing too. I've got one, but again, it's probably something you're going to tell me to go to CodeJock and ask, because it is quite technical. When the XAML code is drawn, do you know when that's drawn? Is it as I do a set row cell caption? Does it effectively make like a bitmap object or something of that XAML at that point in time? The reason I'm asking is because all of these images that I had displaying, I've got about 400 of them, and I don't want the user to be able to get to the actual images.
Right.
So I'm storing them in blobs. I've got that working now, and bringing them back, and I'm displaying them from blobs. But to get them into the XAML, the only way I can get them into the XAML is via a
load from file.
Yes, a load from file. This is what we discussed on a previous webinar.
That's
so
right.
What I thought I could do is use one single temporary file and just keep overwriting it. If the XAML was generated and rendered at the point in time as I do the set cell caption.
No, I understand. Yeah. Don't know the quick answer. But
if you don't know the quick answer, then don't waste any more time, Andy. It's something I'm going to test anyhow.
Well, I would say
to try and figure it out.
Yeah, I would say you would be okay if you did your wherever you're building that XAML, you set the caption, which of course takes the entirety of that. I think I can't see. You might want to do a populate and a redraw straight after that, so per image, if you will, and then go on to your next one. I think you'd be okay at that because it's been painted and rendered then.
Okay. Yeah.
I think it's a fair assumption, to be honest. So I think you'd be okay at that. So now, of course, it might slow because you're doing a redraw after every image instead of every 4 images. What you've got now, of course, your actual.
Well, I get away with having 4 temporary files. Yeah. Yeah, I'll get away with 4 temporary files, because one of the slowest parts of the whole system is if I'm doing it via temporary files, and I've got something like 496 temporary files there at the end of the search, and then I want to delete them afterwards. It's actually the deletion from the disk that's taking the longest time of all. The physical operating system deletion of all the temporary files and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think you'd be fine to each one or 4 temporaries, like you say, put them to them. Do your add row and your redraw, which you've got there now. Well, here's a quick test. Do that. Well, you've got it working there now, where you did the populate and redraw, and then delete the other images. So whatever code you've got at the moment, because I take you putting them all to a
temporary file, temporary folder.
Temporary folder, but they're all called the same name, are they? Sorry, one-to-one relationship between the image and the So basically, just as a test, delete them after you've done the populate and redraw. Delete them at that point before you go reworking all your code. And does the thing still work? Because it's on screen there now. And I think you'll find it. I think you'll be okay at that.
Okay. All right. I'll give that a try. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Now we've got a couple of other questions as well.
I'll finish my question, so that's good. I'm happy. I'm a very, very happy camper.
Very good. Let us know how you get on with the redraw on that. That'd be a curious. I think you'd be okay, but be good to know.
Okay.
So Alejandro's got a question regarding command bars. So let's open the mic up. Where is he? Hi, Alejandro. Can you hear us?
Hello, Andy.
Hi.
Hello, everybody.
How are you doing?
Very well, thanks. I have can I show you my screen, please?
Of course.
Okay.
So again, you should get a prompt to say make presenter. Sorry, show screen.
Yes. Let me know when you are seeing my screen.
Not yet, just waiting.
No?
No, not yet. It puts a little window up and asks you which. There you go.
There is? Okay. Look, I open my screen. Do you see the icons in the command bar?
Oh, yes, yeah.
Okay, but if I make click here, did you see? The delete button disappear.
Okay, if you hover over it, is it? Well, it's actually deleted. It's gone. Yeah, okay. Is there any particular?
But in every Windows, I added the command bar with this method. Did you see?
Yeah.
Delete. I don't know why.
Okay, well, let's have a look at the definition of the command bar. Let's have a look at the settings.
Okay. Delete. Where do you want to go?
Okay, so the controls, please.
Okay.
And let's have a look at the insert to start with, so the properties.
Yes.
Okay, so it goes on a command bar and control. No, properties. But then the next tab.
Yes, sorry.
Okay, so it's cloned clarion button. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, yes, cancel that. And let's look at the delete.
CRUD ID, control, delete, clone.
Okay, and the options? The delete. Okay.
Yes. But I have the problem in any window with this, just with this icon or button. I don't know why. But look something, please. Here in, I think so. Here is. Here does not work like this. But I think because I added another icon more, another button more. Okay.
So if you click on anywhere.
Yes, and nothing happened here.
And are they set to clone?
Yes, it's the same. Let's go to see. Wait. This is a legacy, Clarion legacy, no? Sorry.
Okay.
Not your knowledge. If we go here, CRUD ID, command bar, control, cloned, option, delete.
Yeah.
It's the same. I just added another button more. Look something, please. If I open, for example, this. If you see, I have the same command bar. If I click here, but in this case, because I don't have any record, let me open other. This. And this doesn't happen, but because I added another button.
But that shouldn't make. That's fine. That shouldn't make any difference.
No difference. No. Look here for example, here. No, in this. Now it's working fine. Or maybe it's not this. Let me see. Another. No, this don't have a. This maybe. Well.
No. Okay, well, let's go back to this window, the one that's got the problem.
Yes. In window?
On the extension.
Yes.
Command bar.
Yes.
Okay, so on this you have the controls. Did you add these manually or did you import?
No, manually.
Just manually? Okay. Okay, on the delete, for the delete, let's do control.
Yes.
And let's just change that to mimic.
Mimic? I don't think so.
No, sorry, not that one. No, okay, sorry, no, button. And
yes.
State. So down a little. No, down.
Sorry.
On there, but yes, that one. State. Here? Yeah, mimic. And let's mimic the delete. Just want to see if something's happening to the delete button.
Okay. In action, nothing.
Well, you can post an event to the delete, but this is only a test.
Okay. Mhm. Mm, Wait. Mm, Sorry.
No problem.
Oh.
Problems?
Yes, I don't know.
Well, do you want to get that into a compiled state? We'll move on to the next question, but then come back to you when
Okay.
you compile. Is that okay?
Okay. Okay.
Okay. No.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. So we've got another question there. Next one is David's still having problems. So let's registering. So hi, David.
Hey, Andy.
Hi. So yes, basically, still got problems with property grid. Is that correct?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, registering. So yeah, switching between the two there,
Sorry
or
about that.
between the trying to go from 16.4 to 17.3. Yeah.
Cut that. There you go. Right. Let me just make sure. I'll just make sure 17.3 is okay with property grid.
I think you tried it there and it seemed to work okay.
Did we try it last week? Yeah.
Yeah, I think we tried it on your machine and you could switch back and forth. And
Should we take a look at your machine then? Is that okay?
I guess so. Yeah.
Yep, no problem. Okay. Definitely switching screens today. I think is our fourth or fifth presenter.
Let's see.
Obviously, watch the license code and so on, as you know. But
So this one, I've got more kind of like a little separate module, but I just added a property grid to it, so it would show up. Here it is.
yep.
Now this is a one of the DLLs. So can I just switch it here, or do I need to switch it in the main and the?
If it's one of the DLLs that you put it in there, that'd be fine, and that DLL would use that version currently.
Okay. So if I just switch to 17.3.
Are you using Registry
This will
Com?
speed up testing a little bit. Yes.
Right. Okay. Might be in there. that might be an issue, depending on what the contents of the registry, the manifest is. We could really take a look at that in a minute.
Oh, because it must be, because it looks like it is affecting it, because here it worked. It's still there.
Right, yep.
And it hasn't been the case, so I'm sure if I go back to my main, unfortunately, this guy's kind of big. That's the that's the downside here. Is when I change it, he compiles the whole thing. It takes a.
Okay, yeah. And again, that's set to. I see. Now that'd be interesting. Okay, and can we just take a quick look at the two manifest files before we generate? Let's just have a quick look at the manifest files that it's currently working from.
So right now we'd have. Oops. Let's see. The service order guy is the DLL. So oh, I see. He's down here further. There he is. So that's for the DLL.
Right, yeah, no, do you know?
But then the
manifest
for property grids is down here.
Yeah, but you should have one for, okay, that one, yep. 16.4.
That's right, that's because that's coming from the, it looks like that's coming from the main. From my...
Have you got the 17.3 registered on the machine as well? Because I think that's how that would have worked.
I don't think it's registered. It's not like locally registered.
Right. Okay.
I mean, I just installed it, but normally I would normally do the reg server, and register the individual.
Yes.
OCXs, and they may have done that.
Yeah, at the end of the install.
It does that.
Yeah, let's just drop to a command.
Really, neither one would be. This is like this machine's fairly new, so I transferred, the development environment.
Yep.
Over to this machine, and so neither one would be registered. The 16, wouldn't be registered, or the 17.
Right. Okay. And the manifest for your main app. Yep, that's one. So, and if we scroll down, looking for the property code actually, out there, and that's so them two are married up to say 16, and that's great. Just bit at a loss of the DLL there, why it carried on working. Do you want to just regenerate it to make sure that it did actually, take the change?
This one?
Yeah. Okay.
It's only when I change this main guy, it looks like then. If I switch him, change him to 17.3 and compile, then they stop. Should I try that, I guess?
Yeah, let's go with that, and we'll have a look at that. We'll have a look at the two manifests that will get created from that.
Okay. This guy one takes a few minutes.
So the DLLs, so you've got your service orders. Just DLL, because just thinking of the manifest there, what we've generated. I don't think the Reg Recon would actually take that into account.
It doesn't look like. I mean, it looks like it just uses the extreme property grid.
Yeah, that's like
manifest.
Well, it's
I don't really see it using
the main app, the EXE manifest, and
I see.
Yeah, so
and
it's a combination of the two.
Okay.
And they go hand in hand.
The local DLL doesn't seem to have it.
Which how I'd expect it, to be fair.
Okay. This is one of those, all the warnings and stuff that we're getting is from that C55. Remember, I think we mentioned that.
Yes, yeah. I do. I started taking them out, and then it actually came back, caused a particular issue. So one of them, I put it back in. So I'm just wanting to prove it shouldn't be needed anymore. From a long time. So I just need to check and double check that. It was on the task panel actually.
Oh, when you took it out and it started causing a problem?
Yeah, I was quite surprised at it. So these are all set to 17.3 at the moment.
Those two are, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, I got some errors now. I don't know what that's all about. Oh, I've seen that before. Let me see. I think I just generated it, but I might have to close it. Yep, looks like it. So close this guy. Close this guy. And start again. There it goes. Huh. Now it's working?
Okay, but what about in the main app?
Oh, yeah. Well, I can't really run that right now. It's kind of a...
Oh, okay.
I'd have to recompile the main. Like this, the main's now, bypassing everything. It's calling, the... Like it's bypassing the startup stuff there. So let me see. Select the admin. Then now it would run. I don't know what would make it start working. So let me see. So like even this one, this is a crappy little screen, but it's got a property grid on it, I think. Yeah, like there's one. So this is in the main, and he's not showing up anymore.
Okay, and the...
Let me check another guy though. So let's see. Yeah, same thing. So he's missing from here too.
Right, okay. Okay, and what about the one where it was working? Can you get to that from here?
I think so. Oh yeah, huh. Okay.
Okay, and in that, that was set to HPCom as well, weren't it?
Yes. Yeah, this is actually coming from, this property grid here that is in that DLL.
Yes.
And so was this guy here, when I went into modify and brought this up. This is also in that DLL. This procedure.
Really?
Yeah, is coming from that DLL. Yeah, they're both in the same, in this service order guy. So like, this is the date stamp. That's one of them. I guess it's the other guy. Filling service order photos. That's him. That's the guy right there. And then the other one that we just looked at.
Can we just look at the properties of that one?
Is this one. This is where I just stuck that one temporarily.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess let's go back to this other guy. Huh? Let's see. What's it say on there? Oh, order information. I see. Okay, positional. Okay.
Okay, and yeah, that looks fine. And the other one?
The one that's working?
Yep. And we can just.
That one I just stuck on here just now. So just before, while we were in the webinar, I just thought, well, I'll just stick one on here real quick. And now the only thing I see, just testing, positional. So I just created one here with everything defaulted, stuck a category on there, and put an item on there.
And the initialization is during window init for both of them, which I was taking a look at.
That's the case, during the window init. Yeah. Oops. And then this other guy, browse. They're all, that little first one that I showed was also in this guy, it looks like. So, oh, maybe not though. Let me see. Not that one anyway. Browse service type pricing. Oh, here it is. Well, I don't see it in either one of those, so that's kind of weird. All right, well, never mind about that. We'll just stick with this one that is.
Let's stick with the two. So we've got one what works, one what doesn't. Okay, so on the one that doesn't, obviously, conscious live app and so on, but let's just add a second report control on there. Sorry, property grid. Oh, was this the working one? Photos? No, this was
this is the no working one. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah.
Add a new one. Oh, I guess
Yeah, on the window though. Yeah.
Don't really have a lot of places to put it, but
let's just go there. Edit. Does this use any others like resizing or docking panes or anything?
Yes. Well, not docking panes, but the resize I think is there, and these are other control. This one here shows photos.
Okay.
This is, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's. And that will probably overwrite something, but let's just take a very rough look at that and see if we get anything on there.
Looks like this is another property grid. Let me see. Yeah. All right. Well, let me see. Okay. All right. So we got this one. Just
one there. Yeah. I'd just go with that. Just you can give it a name, but a compile at that. Let's just see if we get any kind of content or just an empty box.
okay, that would be on the photos. Huh. Now that one's there.
Do you know, it's almost as though it had not regenerated the source.
With the new guy, you know what I mean? Here's the new guy there.
Yeah.
He's blank. So if I take him back out.
Take that back out. It was almost as though we hadn't regenerated. I mean, I have a batch file which shows my trust in it, but I have a bash file which goes through and basically gets rid of all the CLWs and inks what are not needed.
Well, that's what I do here. So what I usually do is I have all my stuff goes to a temp directory.
Ah, right.
And then I just delete the temp directory, clear out all my exes, the old stuff. I have a little batch file thing. And then I regenerate the entire thing.
Yeah.
And I usually do that when I'm going to make a release. And so just so I know that everything's
nice and exactly what I'm saying.
Kind of compile
but it was almost as though
it looks like it just didn't do it. But I've been through to regen the whole thing a few times.
Yeah.
I don't know how many since then, but in the last week, probably 10. Yeah, it's still there now. So. No photo, but we got our grid. All right, so then on our main guide, then on this other one, let's see. Oh, this other one's, yeah, okay. Vendors. And let's see, pricing. Oh, okay. Vendor service type pricing. Well, that might be a separate guide, then. That's probably in the vendors one. I don't think that's been changed here yet. So.
Should we just try it just to while we're on a roll?
Yeah, that would be oops, not that guy. Shoot, one right below it. This guy, I think, has got him in there. Vendor type pricing. Yeah, there it is. That's just a big property grid.
So what?
This one's right now is on 16.4.
So.
Well, at least I know. So if it doesn't show up, just go add one and then take it back out again.
Well, I wouldn't even add another one. I think I'd do something like just add a string or something like that. Just, or change the title just to prove that it is going to be regenerated.
Yeah. Yeah, it has to be regenerated because, like I said, I'm getting rid of the entire.
Yeah.
There's nothing left to. Look, there it is. Okay. Yeah. Huh. Well, now that one works too. Okay. Well, I guess I'll stick with that.
That's progress.
Yeah, that is, and it's good to know if I. If I run into that someplace here, then.
Yeah, it changed. Well, we just thought it did look like it just hadn't regenerated. So of course it was source code wise, it was still going to try and load 16.4, but the app manifest said 17.3, and the generated property grid manifest said 17.3. So we know that they were done. They were compiled.
And I'll actually start that now. That's why we're in the. It takes about 15 minutes, but if the webinar, isn't over, I'll regen the whole thing here.
Yeah.
So that was their directory where all their stuff ends up compiled.
I've got you. Yep.
And then I've got a little batch that just cleans up the local guy with no EXEs left, no DLLs left, no.
Yeah, all the I mean, so it's a full generation of the object, if you will.
Should require everything to be rebuilt, and then let me just go back into the order here and start the big.
Yeah,
about 15 minutes, but it's not too bad.
Practice management system, even on a relatively fast machine, that probably takes, give or take, 35-40 minutes. So I have on the server, I have a remote session, so I can go and set a batch compile going, and then still not time my machine up. Couldn't live without it now.
Yeah, that's kind of nice. So you can batch compile on another.
Yeah, basically, yeah, and then just sync the drives afterwards. So various
I got you.
batch files and so on. So yeah, use a mass compile up on the server, carry on deving on my machine, and then just recut. We call it a V drive. Recut the V drive, which is only a sub st command. One makes it, and one to make it again, and as it makes it again, it brings all the freshly compiled DLLs local to me.
Yeah, that might be. This one's on just a VM, so you can. I mean, it's not tying up my local machine, but he is tying up the development machine.
Yeah, so just different ways. We all find the best ways of maximising, the resources and time and so on.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's not a bad idea.
Okay, well, you do that one, and I shall move on to. We've got a couple of other questions, and we'll check out Alejandro's going as well. So we'll come back to you very shortly.
Okay, thanks.
So, Alejandro, how have we done with the compile?
Well, can you put my screen, please?
Yep. There you go. Coming your way.
Let me see when you see my screen.
Yes, can see that now. Yes.
Okay. Look, in here, in this screen, disappeared the button 2. Go to Inventario. This is the button that we created. Okay?
Yeah.
Disappeared.
But we said to mimic, have we not?
Yes. If I click here, disappear too. This is another procedure. If I click again here, disappear. But this is the unique button. I don't know, maybe the name, maybe something.
Okay.
Did you see it? Just
if it's set to mimic, then basically, is that the one we were working on before?
No. This is mimic. This have mimic.
Right.
Just
okay, and then click elsewhere.
Wait.
Where was that delete button coming from? Alejandro, just keep with the one procedure. Yeah, that one. So now go down to Alejandro, we need to go on that one.
Yes.
Okay, now hover the mouse over the delete button near the bottom, please. Okay, where's that delete button coming from?
This is a hide. Let me show you. Sorry.
So there is a normal clarion button.
Exactly. But I don't see
those buttons.
My question or my problem is, are the same? These 4 buttons.
Can you bring those buttons just into the window so we can see them normally on the window, please?
You say delete the command bar?
No. We still want to put the command bar back where it was, but let's just put those buttons. Let's make the report control a little smaller so we can see the buttons. I want to see what happens to the delete button when we navigate.
Can you open the mic to Roberto, please?
Oh, yes. Hi, Roberto. Okay, that's good. And then on the...
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, my friend. Can you help me?
On the computer, but I had it on the speakers and I heard you.
Okay.
What's up?
Tell to Roberto, Andy, what do you need I do?
The report control, if you can just make that a little smaller.
Que lo hagas más chiquito.
That's good. Now, them buttons. No, that's okay. No, okay. The buttons, let's bring the buttons into the window.
Que los botones los traigas hacia adentro de la ventana. They are in the window, aren't they?
Yeah, it's just...
you want them closer? Or?
I want them more in the middle because I think the command bar paints over the top of them.
Ok. Dice que los botones los metas como en medio porque él piensa que el command bar los está sobreescribiendo.
Okay, let's just try that.
Okay. Wait. Okay.
See, I'm not the only guy that crashes Clarion.
Yes. I don't know why this consume all resource of my machine, my virtual machine.
We need to get together. Necesitamos hacer una vaquita para comprarte una nueva máquina. We need to get together and buy a cow.
New virtual machine. Huh?
We need to get together and buy a cow. It's
Nah, this is a virtual machine. It's not my machine.
I don't think it translates well.
¿De vaquita?
Uh-huh.
Sí, no sé cómo se dice.
You know what that means, right?
Yes.
Andy?
No.
Buy a little cow?
Nope.
Okay. When you get together in between a whole bunch of people, they buy a single lottery ticket.
Okay.
They call it a little cow.
Oh,
Because
wow.
they're investing in the calf or something like that. So they call it a little cow. So everybody invest in a part of the ticket so that if they win, then everybody will get part of the prize.
Okay.
Of course, you know, lottery tickets don't work that way, right? But
Of course not.
people still think that that's going to work good, but whatever. And so what I was saying, we need to make a little cow so that we can get Ale a new computer, one that compiles fast.
Now.
Did you see disappear? I will open again. Sorry.
Where's the
There is. Oh,
where's the normal,
wait.
where's the delete button? Close that and go back in again, please.
There's the delete button.
Okay, now click on the report control.
But wait, please. It will open again.
Yeah, no, there's no delete button.
Yes. In the second instance.
On the second instance, you get a delete button, huh?
Yeah, but what I'm
Yes.
saying is the Clarion, right? We set it to clone originally, and then it's now set to mimic, and the Clarion button is going. So if the Clarion button goes, of course, the button off the command bar will go as well, because it's mimicking its settings.
Well, but if they open it again, Ale, it doesn't appear on the command bar either.
No, we've moved that off. It's just told to mimic at the moment.
Oh.
So it's whatever is making that button go. So the command bar is doing what it should do. It's mimicking. So that button is there now. So that delete button on the command bar is there.
Oh, it is there. It just doesn't have an icon.
No, this is just mimicking that button. So if you can see the Clarion button, then you can see the command bar button. If you can't see the Clarion button, you can't see the command bar button because it's mimicking its actions. So what we need to find is, so the command bar is actually doing its job. It's saying, okay, how does the button look now? Is it enabled? I'll enable. Is it hidden? I'll hide. But we need to find why.
Okay, so mimic doesn't copy the icon either?
No, mimic is just the clone. Does the icon. Clone does the icon, the caption, the action, everything for you. Mimic just does the hide and
enable, disable, hide, unhide.
Those two, or four if you include the positive and negative.
Mm-hmm.
So that and the other buttons are set to clone, and this one was. So I think we need to look at why. I stick with one procedure.
Look, Andy. Look something. Look, if I open another instance, did you see the button don't disappear? Okay?
Yeah.
If I open just the first time I don't know if I may click, there disappear.
Yeah.
But if I open again another window, nothing happened.
Yeah, I don't know if you've got another template, but basically that delete button or the FEQ. So let's say your report control is FEQ 1, insert, change, delete 2, 3, and 4. What was that FEQ happens to be being manipulated. Okay, so you can see that there. It's the second window open. Close the other windows and go back into that one again.
Do you have like another extension?
There.
Like
And
maybe.
Hang on, just 1 second. Just close this and go back in again.
Again?
Yeah, and watch very quickly. You see the delete button and then you see it disappear. So go back in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, but the question is why?
Well, you're going to have to go through your other templates to find out what templates are changing the controls. So the command bar is doing its job. It's taking the delete button. The delete button's hidden, so that one's hiding. It's doing the job. It's doing the job correctly. So you must have some other template on there which is probably accessing the wrong FEQ.
So, but if I delete the command bar and I put only the button, the behavior maybe must be the same.
Well, disable the command bar.
Okay, let's go to see. Or true here. What is better way? Disable?
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, put true there.
Ah, sorry.
You've got a task list on the Kojak Noyantis discussion group.
I've seen it.
Skype group.
¿Cómo se dice vaquita?
A little cow.
Little cow.
While you're doing that, oh no, we'll finish on this. I was going to say I've got a couple of questions from Bill which I can quickly answer, but let's just finish on this first.
Okay. It's finished. But now it's more slow when I show my screen.
That's right. That's why you can see the button hiding. You don't have another template like Super Security or Sequin, something like that?
No, I use the best template, just only Noyantis.
Goal!
And of course, the mine too.
Of course.
Okay. Oh, There is now my buttons.
You must be hiding them somehow in code.
No. No, this is the command bar.
No, that's a button. That's not the command bar.
Okay, have you got any embedded code? Let's just disable the template completely. So,
No, I have not embed code.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so let's just do extension and disable template.
Okay, and let me see something in my window. I want to see if delete is not disabled or hiding.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
And 2 hours later,
I'm gonna go get coffee.
it's early.
Sufficient time.
Time to coffee. Here is time to eat a lunch. Sorry.
Oh, you okay?
Release. But really, this happened when I am showing my screen. I don't know if it's maybe it's my connection of internet, but I don't know. Okay. That is.
Okay, but the delete button, so the command bar is completely disabled, but the delete button is hidden. So something else is hiding your delete button.
Okay, I will check the code.
Do you have a resizing template? Sometimes I've had resizing templates move or hide stuff for me as a special feature for some reason.
Special feature?
Yeah, I don't know. That's crazy. Some of those resizing templates, it's crazy stuff.
I am using this.
Why don't you try disabling that? You just take it out.
Or don't alter control?
I don't know. I would just take it out and see. Since you don't have anything added on there, you can just, yeah. Maybe it's that Windows ID thing here.
But that's the problem. So that's why you were losing the button.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Go ahead with another question, no problem, because I don't want that you wait.
Yeah, no problem. We'll go back.
Okay.
I'll cover Bill. So, hi, Bill. Just opened your mic up if you're available.
Yeah, we're right here.
Yep. Yes, basically, your couple of questions you asked was, I think it was when we was on David's machine with the manifest.
Exactly.
And,
yeah, I noticed it on his.
Yeah, and the golden rule is the manifests. If you're using Reg3Com, the only two manifests you need are the one for your main exe itself, which will have extra dependency section added for whichever control you're using. So in that case, it was property grid. So you will have a modified version of that, and then you will have one for the control in question. So if it's property grid, it would be extreme property grid dot manifest. Oh, so I think it's .ocx dot manifest. So that's it. Now, if you add, let's say, the command bar and the property grid, then you would have three manifests: one for the exe, one for the command bar, one for the property grid, and then obviously, you have that per control, if you will. If you've got multi-DLL, that doesn't matter. You don't need those ones. You just need the main exe and then one for each of the controls that you're using.
Oh, I see. Okay, that's what had me confused, because I'd been doing it where we'd just been doing it on the main exe and had not been making them for the DLLs.
That's right.
But
yeah, you're fine.
But I've been compiling them into the exe.
Don't do that.
Yeah,
Don't do that.
You can do that, but I personally wouldn't do, because you might compile it in. You might be using an older version, 16.4, and definitely at one point in the past, I don't know the latest Clarion and so on, but at one point in the past, you could change my template to say use a newer version, and it's still compiled in the older version. It didn't regenerate it. So I'd say it's good practice to not compile the manifest into your app. In that you've got to ship the extra manifest for the controls, like the property grid and the command bar, because you've got to ship those anyway. You might as well ship the one for your exe at the same time. It's only one extra file, and then it keeps them all hand in hand, if you will.
Yeah, the dependent assembly manifests don't compile into the app anyways.
No. So personally, I think it's good practice to just ship them all together.
Okay, that was really all I needed to know. Thank you.
No problem. And we'll just quickly see how David's gone on. If it was here. Where are we? David, are you, how did you go on with your compile?
I didn't get around to it. A customer support question came in while I was on the webinar, so I've been handling that and didn't get a chance to sort of do anything. So I'll try this after the webinar, but in theory, what you told me should work fine. So but I'll confirm it back to you on the webinar next week.
Cool. Very good. And then last but not least, David Patterson, and you with the multiple versions. So I know you were going to do a mass compile. So it might. Not sure if you muted yourself. It might not be available. So,
I can't hear him either.
No, so might not be available. Okay. Oh, Alejandro, his button.
That's the second instance.
Oh, is it?
The first instance it doesn't show it. The second instance it shows it.
Yeah. It'll be some weird. So it'll be some template. I saw it on one of in one of our applications. We have basically an add-on template just for that application. It's not one for being released. It's just one for that application. And we'd done some software changes in that, and it was manipulating the wrong FEQ under a condition. So I know it's easily done, and that's what's happening here.
Yeah, I've had the resizing templates do that to me.
Yeah.
Especially the easy resize, that one will do it.
Right. See, I use that. I use that. I better keep an eye on
it. But sometimes they disappear. For some reason, they make some controls disappear instead of moving them.
So, well, that definitely resizes them to 0.
Well, I don't know.
So, well, we are over time. Are we any other questions, or have we? I think we've caught up on everyone. It'd been nice to have seen if David's other compiler had worked, but like I say, we can't get the microphone, so I think. I think we're more or less
got
done.
a list of stuff.
Yes, I just had a look.
Who wants you to go through?
Dave Bratovich has given me my list. So, well, one of the things actually we started last week, although can't really continue now, but we started last week was the changes to the multi-DLL registrations and so on. So, time permitting, next week we'll try and make it so we cover questions for, say, well, we've got questions, pressing questions, and of course we have to tackle those. But we'll try and do it where we say we'll get at least half an hour on that, so basically we can get that out. And that is the for those who weren't here last week and not seen the recording because I've not uploaded it yet, is we started to create. I'll just put my screen back on again. We started to create. Oh, it was in there. A new resource template. So basically, with the Noyantis CodeJock resource extension. So on here, you'll be able to start saying what it is. Your licenses and so on and so forth, and your debug and performance things can go into just one instance of this on your data app, and then in your other apps you'll be able to just add this. It'll read all the settings from the data DLL, and then there's changes going on to all of the products, so they can start reading from the CodeJock resource. So we'll see if we can get a bit more done on that in the coming days and weeks, with a view of getting that released. When we do that, all the products will go up to version 4.0. Just so you know that it's got that capability. So that's what we covered last week, because I know there's a few more people here who wouldn't have seen that last week. So yes, basically this is it. So the idea is you'll be able to put this in the data app. You'll be able to say your version, and we are going to have it so it's a version per product. So we've just got one there, CodeJock version. But I think, John, didn't we say we were going to change it so it's your command bar is this version, your property grid is this version, but your charting is an older version or whatever. So you can actually set the versions per product rather than just once. I think that's what we agreed, weren't it? So we'll see about getting a bit more of that done next week, with a view of hopefully getting it into actually working with just one of the products. Then we'll get updates out to the rest of the products. So to go back to Dave Bratovich's list, there's a couple of example apps. I'll make sure the examples are updated with some more XAML things, which he kindly provided to us. And when they get released, it will have that. It will. These updates and the new XAML stuff will be in the report control. Pointless me doing it beforehand. Might as well wait until we've got the thing. Unless someone needs it. If someone needs it, then please, by all means, shout up and we'll get it in there.
I'll shout up. I want as much XAML as I can get. But if there's a way of just getting a look at what Dave sent across to you as a separate thing, I don't mind having it.
I'll just send you it's just a procedure. Well, no, I'll tell you what then. I'll do that tomorrow. Let me just make a list here. Yeah, tomorrow. It'll be tomorrow afternoon when I can do it, but I'll update. In fact, I won't do it on there because I know I'll forget it. I'll put an actual reminder in my phone. I'm doing it as we speak. Update RC example, and then I'll send it across to you. How's that sound?
Okay, that'd be brilliant. Yeah, that'll help me a lot because I'm doing quite a lot of XAML stuff at the moment, and a few more examples of that to give me some ideas would be very helpful.
Yeah, and David kindly provided that, so it's the least I can do, and so on. And he's got some other work for me as well. So yeah, I'm quite a busy person. Right. Well, there's no other questions and no other ideas and no other things. We shall wrap it up, and I shall see you all next week.
All right.
It's Eddie.
Thanks very much, Andy. Very helpful again.
Oh, you're welcome. And
Yeah, thanks, Eddie.
oh, David, you might say, how did you go on with the versions?
Yeah, it worked.
Oh, very good.
I finished, did the full rebuild, and it was fine. So,
Cracking.
thank you.
Oh, that's a nice way to finish off then. Very good. Okay, see you all next week. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Andy. Bye.